Hello, everybody. Welcome to this free training today. It's so nice to see all of you. How are all of you doing? Oh, this is so fun. I always love watching people coming on in. I don't actually see you, but I see people hopping onto this call. So fun. I love it. All right, just in the link, just share where you're from. It's always fun to see. So fun. Oh, I'm glad, Ruth, that you found the link. So good. All right. So welcome. I'm Dara Thomason. I am weight loss coach for quilters. I help quilters and other women if you want to join us. We just talk a lot about quilting stuff. Help them reduce or lose the physical and mental weight and how to cope with life when life feels very stressful and very challenging and difficult. So happy that you're here and that you've made this time for yourself. It is just awesome that you're doing this for you. Okay. So I'm going to just start out by, so this is going to be an interactive presentation. All right. So that means that you can participate in the chat or in the Q&A. All right. Oh, that's right. The chat is disabled. And yes, welcome Ruth from Michigan. So fun. And I see some other people. We have people from, I have some fellow Canadians on here. I love it. So good. All right. So today's webinar, we're going to talk about how to take the panic out of weight gain during the holiday zone. So for some of you, the holiday zone, I call it, for me anyways, I call it like from Halloween to New Year's. Now in Canada, we actually start our Thanksgiving before Halloween. We have our Thanksgiving the second week of October. So the pumpkin pie is already starting. All of that has already started for a lot of us. So we love to get right off the gun, right off, okay? So when I talk about this weight gain zone, what would you say would be an average in the past, or even if you haven't been in my program yet or haven't had any success with this, what would you say would be your average weight gain during the holidays? Okay, so just put that in the Q&A. 10 pounds, 5 pounds? I know for me, for sure, it was like, I pretty much could guarantee that I was going to gain 10 pounds over the holidays. So I don't know if you're the same way, 5 to 8 pounds. Yeah, totally. So I would start like stressing out about it in September because I'd already had the summertime where I was like going a little crazy and, you know, doing all my snacking at the beach and all that kind of stuff and vacation food and road trips and going to the fast food and all of that. And then I would start worrying in September about Christmas. It was like this doom, like it's coming. I can't stop it. It's like that, you know, it's like the train that you just can't stop and it's like got the momentum and it just feels like terrible. Well, that's what this is. Okay. And so the problem is what we want over the holidays is we want to enjoy the holidays. We don't want to feel guilty. We want to enjoy family and friends. We want to build memories. We want to enjoy giving and even receiving. Like we do want to enjoy that, right? We want to share love and feel love. We want to feel connected. We want to have fun. It's just in us. Like we want to recreate the magic of Christmas. Like we want to have all of that. We want to feel awesome and we want to have joy. This is what we want for Christmas. Okay. So it's like, imagine you're at a restaurant and you're looking at the menu and they're saying, hey, what do you want for Christmas? Or like, what would you like? And you're like, this is actually what I want for Christmas. These are the things I want. Okay. And so as we look into this, what do you do to get your desired results? So that you know what you want, but like, what are the things that you're doing? Well, you spend a lot of money or you spend a lot of time making things or buying things, planning things, wrapping things, right? You focus on treats to bring you the joy. So how many of you have just special food that you eat over the holidays? Like the ginger snaps or the butter horns or the Christmas cake or whatever that is. It's like, you just get really excited about those things. So you do a lot of, you focus on treats to bring you joy. So you make and bake a lot of things. Some of you get like really into making all the cookies. You have to make all the things of cookies so you can make the trays and all of that, your Christmas baking. And then you spend a lot of time making food and thinking about the food. So it's like that becomes your main focus. And you're like, I have to have this certain food. I have to do these certain things or else I'm not going to feel good. And then you plan events around your food and then you look at the food and feel joy. So a lot of us center our holidays around food and thinking that we have to have certain kinds of food. We have to eat a certain amount. We have to do a certain thing in order to feel a certain way. Okay. Now, why doesn't this work? Well, I'm going to give you 3 tools. Don't you worry. I'm so glad you're here. This is so awesome that you're spending this time in your brain for yourself. So it doesn't work because our desired feelings come from thoughts, not from food. We get a dopamine hit from food, right? We get a dopamine hit when we eat the cookie. We get a dopamine hit when we do the shopping, the over shopping, over consuming of whatever. But that doesn't actually, our feelings don't come from those things. They actually come from our thoughts. And I'm going to share a little bit more of this in a tool that the first tool I'm going to share with you. And then over consuming. So if we're spending more time than we have, or we're like eating more food, we're off balance. And so then we eating too much refined foods like sugar and flour. Guess what happens? And this is the thing. I was talking to a lady at a retreat that I was at, and she was talking about overeating, and she's like, oh, I eat pretty healthy, but I'm 50 or 60 extra pounds. And I said, well, you know what? You can't actually fight science. She didn't like my answer, and that's okay. It's sometimes hard to hear, but you can't fight science. And the problem is, if you're eating a lot of flour, refined flour, and a lot of refined sugar, this is what happens. You get brain fog, and then you're easily distracted by it, right? Because it's like you have these cravings for it. You have these urges for it. You just need to have more and more. And so it's a big distraction. And then you get addicted to it. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Like when you have lots of sugar, you want more and more sugar. It is an addictive substance. And now in my program, I don't tell you never to eat sugar, and I never say never eat flour. I don't say that, but like we need to be aware, like this is addictive. It is what it is. And so when you know that, then you can plan for having the withdrawals. You can plan for having the urges. You can plan for those things, and it's no big deal. Also, because it's addictive, going along that same vein, it's like you need more to get that same hit. So it's like when you just had one cookie, you can't just have that one cookie to feel satisfied. You have to have 2, and then you have to have 3, and then you have to have 4. And it's like really, really a terrible problem, because it's like, oh, I'm not feeling good, and I still want to feel better. Okay. And then the other reason why this doesn't work is that food is neutral. So food is actually just food. And then it doesn't make you feel good or bad. It's your thoughts about it that make you feel good or bad. All right. So are you ready? I'm going to teach you 3 tools. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen, which I recommend you always bring, like your journal or something when you come to my webinars, write these ones down. But don't worry, I'll also be sending you the replay. Okay. But I'm going to share with you 3 really powerful tools that are going to help you to not feel panic. about gaining that weight over the holidays. Okay. So the very first one, and these are what they're called. What is required to have joy and fun and connection on the holidays? Because this is what you want. Remember, you want to feel fun. You want to feel joy. You want to feel connected. You want to feel generous. You want to have all those feelings. But the chocolate chips or the black magic gold, that's not going to bring it to you. Okay? Because the truth is, now this is my pot of gold. The pot of gold at the end of the tunnel, the end of the rainbow, is like what you really want is you want to feel these feelings. You want to feel joy. You want to feel fun. You want to feel loved. You want to feel appreciated. You want to feel all of these things. Like what you really want on the holidays is you want to feel things. That's why we love Hallmark movies. Because they feel so good, right? That's why we, like, if we don't have a fire, we watch like the fire on the screen. Does that feel, oh, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. I need to take a drink. I do have to say my husband had a cough most like throughout the night. And I was up early with my son, taking him at 6:30. So I didn't have my best sleep because I was a lot of coughing going on beside me. All right, so we have a thought. Our thoughts are what create our emotions, okay? And I'm going to give you an example of, you're like, wait there, no, I get my feelings from chocolate. Okay, listen. So let's take this for example. So the C means circumstance. So a circumstance is just something that's neutral, right? So like this necklace, some of you might think this necklace is super adorable and some of you might think it's weird. Some of you might think like, it's like, what's her name? Thelma, the Pebbles, right? I kind of think this is like is that her name? Thelma? What's her name? Fred Flintstone? I think it's Thelma, his wife. She had a necklace kind of like this. And Betty, is her name Betty? Wilma, that's it. Thank you. I'm like, it's not quite right. Wilma. Yeah, because he always yells, Wilma. Yeah. All right. So circumstance is just neutral. And so the neutral thing is Christmas fruitcake. Okay. So this is Anne, and Anne thinks, yuck, that's gross. So that's her thought. Okay. And then when she has that thought, yuck, that's gross, she has the feeling of repulsed or the gag reflex. Okay. So she's like, ugh, I hate Christmas cake. But then we meet Deb. And I think there's there's two Debs on this call. That's hilarious. Okay. The Debs, you gotta like say if you agree or not, but the Debs, who knows if you guys think this or not, but this is just the example. I love Christmas fruitcake. And when they say that they love Christmas fruitcake, they can have the feeling of desire. They can have the feeling of excited. They can have the feeling of thrilled. Like, what are some other emotions they could have? Right? Because you have a thought, I love it. And then you have this feeling, okay? So now I've proven to you, because Anne thinks it's disgusting and Deb thinks it's delicious. But the thing is, it's just Christmas fruitcake. It's just neutral. And then until we have a thought about it, that's where we get the emotion. Because the thoughts are always our feelings about something. Our thoughts always give us our emotions. Right? Okay. So food is neutral. So homemade chocolates, eggnog, whatever it is, all the Christmas candy canes, Lindt chocolate, whatever it is, these are all neutral. So what we think will determine how we feel. So we don't have to eat certain foods to feel certain things. Now, I am going to give you a caveat on here. So when we eat food, our body is wired to have a dopamine release when we eat food. Because when we were, like before we had like refined sugar and flour, and when food was hard to find, so if all we could eat was like a cricket, we would, that hunger would be, we would get a dopamine release from feeding ourselves food. Okay, so that is that is a life mechanism to keep us alive. All right. And then the problem we have is when we have refined flour and sugar, that increases our dopamine hit that we get when we eat that food. So it's kind of confusing because yes, naturally we get a dopamine release when we eat anything. That is because that keeps us to survive. But when we go to that refined flour and sugar, it's just like amplifies it. Okay. So you're like, Dara, food really isn't neutral. Well, in some ways, I mean, for our thoughts where real genuine emotions come from, yes, that happens. But we do get a surge of dopamine from eating the flour and sugar. And as you'll see, the more you build resistance to it, the more you're going to need to get that same level of high. All right. Okay. So the second tool that's going to help you to avoid the 5 to 8 to 10 pounds of weight gain over the holidays is this concept. This is a scale, by the way. This is an old-fashioned scale. Now, we only have, we only have so much mind juice, right? Like when I think about this, we only have so many minutes in a day. We only have so much time. Our time is finite. And our mind juice is also finite. We only have so much brain capacity to think. And so what happens over the holidays when we go into over-consuming is that we tax our brain with things that aren't helpful, okay? So we have healthy ways and unhealthy ways. So we've got feeling negative and positive emotion. That's super healthy. That's balanced. And today I'm like a walking advertisement of like the 50-50, black and white. Like we have to have dark to know light. We have to know black to know white. Like we need to have that 50-50 balance. Okay. So during the holiday, to have a healthy holiday, we have to have family issues. Like we have to have negative emotions. We have to have positive emotions. We have to allow ourselves to have both of them, right? And if we don't allow ourselves to have them, then we judge ourselves and you're feeling negative emotions. So now you have impacted, you've now created more layers of negative because you're like, you must be doing something wrong if you're having all these negative emotions. Like you are a terrible mother-in-law, or you didn't get them all the right presents, and like, what's wrong with you? You're such a bad this and that. That's terrible. No, in order to have a healthy, balanced Christmas, there's going to be some family drama. There's going to be some people that aren't happy. There's going to be arguments. There's going to be some negative stuff, and that's normal. Okay. You don't have to judge yourself. You can just have that insight. So now let people be them. So the unhealthy thing is when you try to control people. Some people call him a control freak. I like to say control enthusiast. All right. Because if I can't, like, nobody comes with a remote control. If you have children, that's another story. You have stewardship over them, you help them, but truly no one, like, you can't make your mother-in-law be any different than she is. You can't make your husband or your brother-in-law or the neighbor or whoever. You can't make them do anything. You wouldn't want them to try to control you. So this is where the healthy part is. It's like, oh yeah, that's them. They're just kind of quirky that way, or whatever it is. Okay. Another healthy part is accept what is. So how often are you spending your time avoiding situations, like having a difficult conversation? How much mind juice do you use on that? Okay. Willingness to have difficult conversations. All right. So that's the instead of like avoiding situations or reacting to conversations or situations, just be like, that was super awkward. Wow, that was really hard for me to bring that up. Oh, I'm like not looking forward to, like, COVID's now kind of not a thing. I mean, kind of is, but kind of isn't. And so we're like back to Christmas parties and we're back to like inviting people. And I don't really like that person. And I don't really know what to do. Right. So you could just do like, you could just start saying things like, I'm not sure how to say this, but I'm not interested in going to that Christmas party, husband. You know what? I'm just not going to do it. Right? Like you make those decisions for yourself and then you learn how to get your own back. That's the healthy way, right? Next one, reinforce, willing to have difficult conversations, reinforce boundaries. So if you have family visiting, or if you find that your kids come all over and they come unannounced and they expect you to feed them or something, you know, it's having that conversation of, hey, if you guys want to come and visit us, that's awesome. But if you want to come, you need to give me at least 4 hours in advance or 24 hours in advance. And if you come and you didn't tell me, I'm actually just not going to be available for you. And having to be willing to like have that healthy boundary, because otherwise they're going to come and you're going to feel resentment. You're going to feel mad and angry and it doesn't feel good. Right. And then you just get, and you want to try to control other people. And then you get back into that mode. And it's just this really bad cycle. So being that healthy part of like enforcing boundaries and getting your own back, that's where you're going to find a healthy Christmas and a healthy, so you're not turning to food, you're not turning to getting that dopamine hit from the sugar or the flour. Okay. Another one is willing to work through your stuff and own your results. So you resist issues and watch a lot of TV, social media, buy stuff, stay super busy. Okay. So if you want to be healthy, this is what you have to be willing to do, is feel uncomfortable, because otherwise you're avoiding, resisting, or reacting, like how I said here. And that's not allowing you to be the person you want to be. Okay. You don't even really know who you are anymore because you just keep reacting and avoiding and resisting. All right. Okay. So the third tool, how are we doing for time? Oh, we're doing great. Confirmation bias, which means you're looking for evidence of how you have success. So when I describe this tool of confirmation bias, I like to give the example of when like you learn a new word. Like I remember in my first year of university, I learned the word secular. I didn't know the word secular before I went there. And all of a sudden it was like anywhere I went, like anyone I talked to or listened to the radio, or I was at a store or something, I heard the word secular. I was like, oh my goodness, this is like, how did I not know this word? It's kind of like a yellow car. You know, you just say, oh man, there's so many yellow cars. And you're like, what, there are? Well, what's going to happen? You're going to start, your eye is now going to look for all the yellow cars. And so confirmation bias, I'm going to give you, and here I've got my little police officer, and this is a filing cabinet of all the tickets. All right. So you make a goal in your life. You're like, okay, I'm going to want to make this quilt. I want to lose 30 pounds, or I want to wear wear those pants in the back of my closet. So you make a goal. And then you ask, how will you be successful? You're like, okay, how am I going to do that? How am I going to, well, I could use a lot of willpower. I've lost weight in the past before, but it was really like uncomfortable. I didn't like it. And I was like, I had to go and weigh in and I had to measure things and calculate things. And it was just, I didn't like that. Okay. And then where do you get your evidence that you can be successful? So if you go to your past, the times in the past where you used willpower and you had to go to the meetings and you had to get measured and weighed, and then you felt really bad about yourself, or you had to go to somewhere and spend a lot of money on like shakes, and then you felt really ostracized or felt weird at your parties or whatever it was, right? So if you go to the past for evidence of being successful in the future, then guess what's going to happen? You're just going to not have success, because your brain is looking for all the evidence that you can't be successful with weight loss because you're going to the past. But I give this example and people are like, yeah, but that's true. But like, think about tying your shoelaces. Before you learned to tie shoelaces, you didn't know how to tie shoelaces. There was no evidence that you were a person that could tie shoelaces. Before you put lipstick on, before you could drink a drink, before you could drive a car. I'm currently teaching my son how to drive a car, and oh boy. And like, even today I was like, oh, ha, ha. He's like, oh, and he's like, but mom, there's so many things I have to remember. I'm like, yeah, that's right. And so it's like, if we're always going to the past to determine if we can be successful, we would never evolve. We would not tie shoes. We would not be able to drive. We wouldn't be able to go online. We wouldn't be able to do anything really. Okay. But what we do need to do is we need to go to our future to be like, maybe I could be a person that could lose weight by loving herself. Maybe I could be a person that could tie my shoes. Maybe I could be a person that could drive. So we need to stop writing tickets to ourselves for this. All right. So this is a part where I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you of the 3 tools that I just shared with you. Are there tools that you or are there tools that you are already doing? Are there tools that you have been doing a little bit? Are there tools that you have done and that you find really successful? Of the 3 tools, which one feels like if you nailed it, you would feel like really confident at Christmas? Okay. So you can put them in the Q&A. So when you write in the Q&A, nobody else sees your answers. So if that makes you feel a little less nervous or insecure about that, because I really do want to honor the time that you have with me at this time. And I want to help you in the way that I can the most. So I didn't even introduce myself. I guess I did a little bit, but I didn't really share my story. So I'm a life coach, weight loss coach for quilters because I am a professional quilter. And I have lost 50 pounds without counting calories or exercising, and have been able to keep that weight off for like 4 years. And as I was teaching quilting and doing all these really cool things, as I started like using and implementing all the life coaching tools that I was learning, I just started losing weight as a byproduct of me doing all the work. And yes, I did like focus on weight loss. I was like, okay, I really want to lose this weight, but I had no idea how powerful when I manage my own brain. And when I talk about managing my own brain, it's basically just thinking about my thinking. And I was like, oh my goodness, I had no idea that I was holding myself back. So, all right. So in these tools, yes. So when you learn to allow yourself to have negative emotions with the positive, you will have more balance. Totally. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Another one. Okay. So when you look for evidence, going to your past and seeing, yeah, totally. So if you just keep saying, no, I can't be that person. And if you just just think, no, you have to be the police officer, and you have these file folders full of evidence that you can't be successful, you won't be successful. All right. Okay. So of the 3 tools, I want you to make a commitment. So I'm just going to review them with you. So A is you want to feel a certain feeling, right? You want to have this feeling, but the only way that you have an emotion, the emotion only comes from your thoughts. So Anne thought that fruitcake was gross, and Deb thought that fruitcake was delicious. Fruitcake is just neutral. It's what you think about it is going to give you the emotion. So you don't actually have to eat any food to feel anything. I promise. Okay. So like if your doctor said you couldn't eat for the holiday, you couldn't eat for 3 weeks and it was during the holidays, could you still have fun in the holidays? Yes, of course you could, because of all your thoughts. All right. Number two, the goal is we only have so much thinking power, just like we only have so much time every day. So we need to focus on healthy thoughts and healthy ways of thinking. So we're not avoiding, resisting, or reacting negative emotion, or avoiding, resisting positive emotion either. And we're allowing ourselves to have that experience. All right. And then the third tool is that if you are always going to the past to look for evidence of the future, you will never progress. Okay. And these are tools that I have in my program. Now, when you do this, the skills that you're going to need, you have to feel your feelings. So that is a skill that you are taught. And if you haven't been taught that, then that's one of the reasons why you're overweight, because you aren't comfortable just feeling your feelings. You need to be in your brain. So you need to accept and no longer hide, avoid, resist, or react negative or positive experiences. And then another skill that you need is you need to take responsibility for your own emotions. So we're not blaming people anymore. You're not like, when that Uncle Joe comes to my house and, he is doing this, he ruined my Christmas. We're not blaming him. The reason you didn't have a good Christmas is because of all your thoughts about it. And that maybe you didn't have a boundary. Like, no, you're not allowed to bring alcohol in my house, because when you bring alcohol in my house, you're a crazy man. So sorry, bye-bye. Right? Maybe, and the blame of like, if I had a better family, or if I had this or that, then my life would be better. No, we're not doing that anymore. And then this whole shame thing of like, I'm not good enough. Then there we go. There's some evidence. I'm not good enough. We're not doing that either. Okay. And I do have some really good podcasts on the shame blame trap. And it is something I do a lot of work in my program. And then when the results you have, when the skills are learned, so we no more over consuming food to feel a certain way. Because this is the problem. You just keep going. Do I have it here? Yeah, you keep using food as a scapegoat. We're not doing that anymore. And also, so with this one, no more over consuming food to feel a certain way. When you keep trying to solve a problem the wrong way, you're still going to get the same answer. Like if you keep thinking 1 + 1 is 3, no matter what you do, it will always be wrong. So food will never solve the problem. The only problem that food solves is hunger. And the fact is, if we have a lot of stored fat on our bodies, so we can always access the stored fat. So if we keep trying to like eat the fruitcake or eat the chocolate or eat this or eat that or eggnog to feel a certain way, it will always be wrong. Like you will feel a moment of dopamine hit, but that's not long lasting, and it will not solve the problem of missing your kid who's not home with you, or being disappointed that your family isn't the family that you wanted, or you didn't have the picture perfect Christmas. None of those food things will ever solve that. I promise you. Okay. And that is a big, bold statement. And I have to tell the truth. All right. So if you keep thinking, oh, I just need to do better at my chocolates, or I need to do better at this or better at that, I just need to have more of it. That's a lie. It will not solve it. I remember one of my clients, she hired me before Christmas, like December 15th, I believe. And we do no sugar and flour for the first 6 weeks. And it was so fascinating to watch her, because she was like, how do you celebrate Christmas without all those things? And I really challenged her, and it was like so empowering for her to create her own joy and to create her own happiness and to really start having it come from the inside out. This was something that she's been advocating her joy, giving it away to like, oh no, chocolate always brings me joy, or candies or whatever it is. That's a lie. They give you a moment of joy for sure, but that is not long lasting. All right. Relationship deepens with your body and yourself. So when you really start like appreciating this beautiful body you've given, we have eyes to see and nose to smell, and we can touch, and we have like amazing things, like our heart just beats on its own and we don't even have to ask it to, and we blink, and we've got we have this incredible body. When you start really appreciating this body, you just want to take care of it so well. Okay. And then you can create more intimacy with yourself. And I'm not talking just sexual intimacy. I'm talking like you can be more in tune with your feelings and your emotions, and you can be so much deeper with things, and you're not so much at the surface level because you're not afraid of like, I don't know how to feel my feelings, so I better not do it. No, you don't do that anymore. Okay. But it does impact your relationship with others, your relationship with your mother-in-law, your relationship with your sister. You can be so much more open with them because you're not so guarded with yourself. And even physically with your spouse, that can, or your partner, whoever, that physical intimacy, like when you can just be so much more in tune with your body, that ability to be with others is huge. So I do want to let you know that. And I know it's like something we don't really talk about so much in our society. But when you get that in your own body, then like how that comfort and that intimacy with yourself, as far as like, this is my body and I own her, then you're able to be so much more able to be with others physically and emotionally, especially. You also save a lot of time and money when you do this. This is a result that you get because you're not over consuming, and one of the things that I see is about that busyness, right? Like busyness is one of our buffers. And when you don't have to be busy all the time, have to be proving yourself to all these people, you can be so much more calm and relaxed in yourself. And then we're not using food as a scapegoat anymore. Isn't that fun? We're actually solving the real problems that we have, and we're not saying 1 + 1 is 3 anymore. We're like able to say our truth and be able to do that. Okay, so that is the training for today. I am so glad that you're here. And now I'm going to talk to you about how I can help you create the results that you want in your life. And before I talk about my lifetime membership, I have a really fun course that I'm going to be teaching. It's called Weight Loss for Perfectionists. Can you believe it? When I talk quilting, I stepped in my box of herbal teas. Where is my book? Oh, it's right here. So when I used to teach quilting regularly, I would tell all the ladies that I'm the president of the Perfection Recovery Program. And so inevitably, at the end of every class, I had women, can you tell me, is that true? Oh, that is me for sure. Being a perfectionist. Yeah. So you got to sign up. It's $19. And all you need to do to sign up is you just go to my website. I can actually put it in right now. Here, how do I do this? Well, I think I have it right here. There we go. So if you just go to my website, darathomason.com, there's a little pop-up that says register for my Perfection Recovery weight loss for perfectionists. And so what we're going to do in that, so yeah, if you can see this, and then I have a quiz. So if you go /quiz, you will take, there's 3 quizzes there. Do the Perfection Recovery one. There's 11 questions, be really honest. And then I will do the math for you. Well, the quiz thing does the math for you. And then it will send you your results to your email. And so then it will show you like how far you are in the perfectionist realm. So this is one of the problems I see. You have to do things right. You wait for ideal circumstances. You're afraid to fail, so you don't do it. There's no room for mistakes. So of course you couldn't try something new. I call this failing ahead of time. And then you have past failures are too steep. The past failures you don't use those as stepping stones. You're like, oh, these are all the times I failed. I can't do it. I'm da, 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 da. Okay. So these are some of the criteria that you will have, that if you have any of these in any amount, you need to come to this class. I wrote this for you. It comes with, you get the digital copy of this book, you guys. I've never done this before. You will get the digital copy of 12 steps, the 12-step perfection recovery program. And at the end of it is an amazing UFO challenge you will love. If you want the paper copy, then you can go to they're just working on it right now. Just let me know. And I think it's for my American friends, it's like $30 mailed to your house. My Canadian friends, I do not have that available yet. I'm looking for an outsourcer because the American printing house, it's an absolutely ridiculous price for me to mail it to Canada. It's like $45 to mail it to Canada. So that is not going to happen. So I'm looking for a Canadian printer that I can send that to you, but you will get the digital copy right immediately as soon as you pay the $19. And then we're going to have live coaching, and I'm going to go over the curriculum with you November 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's going to be amazing. All right. So anonymous attendee, go and do that right now. All of you need to go and do that right now. All right. So now I'm going to talk to you about Love Yourself Thin. Now, I am probably going to spend the next like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. I would like you to ask me any questions. I am here for you. If I need to stay a little bit later, I can totally do that, because I believe so much in what happens inside Love Yourself Thin. So my Love Yourself Thin is a lifetime membership. What that means is you pay me $2,000 and you're in for life. You never have to pay me again, unless you want to come to one of my live events, which I'll be having next year. It's going to be so awesome. But so I have based so Love Yourself Thin, there's 12 modules, but they are based on these 5 pillars. So I'm going to review these with you. The first pillar is weight loss science is simple. So like I said to that lady at the retreat, I said, you can't fight with science. Weight loss is literally 3 hormones that need to be balanced. That's it. And so when you can figure out how food, when it goes into your mouth and it goes through it breaks down and you have it like all this energy flowing through your body, when you learn the very basics, and when I'm talking basics, I mean it, like grade 5, okay? When you can really own it, I think one of my biggest struggles for myself about weight loss, and it was so frustrating because I felt like I was such an accomplished person. Like I had a university degree, I taught school, I had 5 healthy children, like I ran a household, I ran a long-term business. I was very successful at pretty much anything I put my mind to, but weight loss just felt like it was my like nemesis. And I thought, I just must not be smart enough. And it was so frustrating to me because I thought, how could I be smart enough to do this and do that and do this, but I can't figure out how this whole weight loss thing works. Like, I guess I just need to hire a professional, like someone to tell me what to eat all the time, or like monitor me. Like, I just felt like this really dumb person. And it felt terrible. And I hated it because I felt like an imposter. And it just felt like so overwhelming. And I didn't realize like how the science really actually is simple. So weight loss science is simple. And I teach you that in the first 3 modules. And then we go to create and troubleshoot your own eating plan. There I go again. I didn't think that I was smart enough. And you might be thinking the same thing, like, yeah, Dara, I'm with you. I try something and then I fail and it feels terrible. So what's the point? All right. You might be thinking the same. So I actually teach you how to make your own eating plan and troubleshoot it. And we cover that in modules 2, 3, and 4. And then we go to the third part is the brain-body connection. So like I said in the webinar, the free training today is like what we really want to feel, that pot of gold is our feelings. That's what we want. We want to feel good. We want to feel happy. We want to feel joyful. We want to feel fulfilled. We want to feel successful. We want to feel acknowledged. We want to feel all of these feelings. Okay. And the only way that we can get those feelings are from our thoughts. And then we have to believe those thoughts. So if I said to you, you're beautiful, and you don't believe that, if you don't believe you're beautiful, that doesn't matter. I could say it 5,000 times a day. You're beautiful. You're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If you don't believe you're beautiful, it doesn't matter what I say. You have to believe it. So This is a really big piece, and we do this in modules 5, 6, 7. And then we learn about taking responsibility for ourselves. This is what's going to get us out of that shame blame trap. This is what's going to elevate us and help us to be like super empowered and powerful. That's why motivation, right? Like how many reels, how many quotes, how many podcasts, how many like music playlists. I have to be motivated to lose weight. I have to be motivated to like show up. Well, that's a very short fuse. So when you learn how to take responsibility for yourself, you become empowered. You become determined. You become like in your own power. It's such a different energy. And you learn that in modules 8, 9, and 10. And we really go over people-pleasing, perfectionism, and procrastination. I call that the triple P, and you are going to love this class. And by the way, when you belong to Love Yourself Thin, you get to come to all the master classes. You don't have to pay for anything. And you have the digital copy already in there. And then we build self-confidence. Okay. So you aren't born with self-confidence or not. It's actually something that you develop, something that you learn. Okay. So I teach you the 3 steps of building self-confidence, and we just keep going and going and going. So that is what you get for the Love Yourself Thin lifetime membership. And it's on demand, and you get your own portal and you track everything. And so as I think about all the experiences that I've had as a one-on-one coach, and now I went to groups, and I have this lifetime membership now. There's just over 60 ladies in there right now. So they do get a lot of attention from me, which is super fun. But I thought, how can I help them? The other thing is, I have a money back guarantee of losing 20 pounds in 90 days, the first 90 days. And so I thought about like, how can I support these women in helping them reach their goals? And so I have some amazing benefits for you to help you be more successful, because I totally realize you have spent a lot of money on weight loss. You have, I feel like you burned your own bridges over and over again, like that hope of like, oh, I couldn't do this. And then you like try something and you gave it all, your all, and then it just failed. You're just like, what's wrong with me? Again, confirmation bias. You're like, I'm terrible. I'm pathetic. I can't do this. Right. So what I've created, and actually right now, I don't even have it on here, but I have created a 90-day workbook, and we are at day 22. So I would love you to join us. It'll be amazing for you. And you'll get this right away. You just get the digital copy, and then you can just print it off like I did. Or for American friends, we can order it and it can just get mailed to you. And so I've actually taken those 5 pillars, that weight loss science is simple, make an eating protocol and troubleshoot it. The brain body connection, taking responsibility for yourself, and building self-confidence. I've done a 30 days. Oh, actually I do have it on here, which I'll talk about. Yeah. So let me just go to it since I'm already talking about it. Sorry. I did have it written down. So the very, very, very bonus, right? 90-day workbook. So here are my 5 pillars, and I broke it down in a 30-day cycle. And then we're going to do it again at a little higher level. And then we're going to do it again at a little higher level. So I'm meeting you from where you're at, and I'm helping you build that over and over. And this is going to be part of Love Yourself Thin. Next year, we're going to do it 4 times. And just like anything we do, the first time we do it, we're just doing it to get better at the second time we do it. And we're going to get better at the third time we do it, right? Just like tying our shoes, just like making a half square triangle or quilting a feather. Like we're like, oh, I'm just in the process of learning. So but I got to do it. And then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. So that is going to be amazing for you. Now, we have 3 live coaching calls a week. And by the way, if you do join today, I will send it to you for free. All right. So I will send you the 90-day workbook. No problem. So Love Yourself Thin, we've got 3 live coaching calls a week. You can raise your hand and get coached by me. And like even today, oh my goodness, one of the members, she, the coaching was just so powerful for her. And what happens is, so we call it like you get on the hot seat, right? So it's like kind of uncomfortable. But the thing that happens is you watch this person being coached and it's like amazing to you because you think, like this could be me almost. I struggle with these things. This has been part of my story. There's something similar that you can relate to, and it just feels like, yeah, this is, I can take this and I can run with it. So you watch others getting coached and that you see that you're not alone and you see you're not broken. You see that there's so many other women that struggle with so many of the same things as you and that you can overcome this. You also get the private Facebook group. So in the private Facebook group, it's open 24/7. You can go in there anytime and just say, hey, I need some help. Or, hey, ask Dara, like, I need help with this. Or you could say, be in the group, say, listen, I'm really trying to do this, practice this tool, and I'm really struggling. Does anyone else have that struggle? And what are things that they've done to help them? Okay. So you get encouragement, and it's just a really loving community. I'm actually really, really proud of it. So ask a coach. So ask any question anonymously. So you can ask me and my coaches 5, 6, 7 questions a day, and I will go in and I will answer them for you. And they all come on the membership portal. So as soon as you register for Love Yourself Thin, you get a membership. And you go inside this portal where all the modules are and all the bonus calls are. Like, we have so many bonus. I'm like a content machine. I really love creating for you all because I'm always thinking of like how to help you learn better. And so then there's other people who have asked similar questions, or they've asked a bunch of other questions. And so you now have this whole bank of questions that are answered with the life coaching tools. So here we have our private portal. So we access all the modules and they're yours for life. And every time, if I ever like update them or anything, it's always yours. Like it's not like you get grandfathered into the program. The program's just going to keep building and building and building. So like you're in now. So you get all the bonus classes with that as well. So we have like a weight loss, like hormone weight loss, like menopause, perimenopause, intermittent fasting. We have how do you like be more efficient with your time class. We have the 12-step perfection recovery program. I went through it twice with my group of my groups. So you have like more detailed coaching on the tools for that. Plus you see other people getting coached on it. And there's so many in there. And guess what? You also have a money back guarantee. So as soon as you sign up, there is you get 5 mindset videos, because your mind right now honestly is kind of like, yeah, I don't really trust myself. I don't really feel that good about myself. So I give you 5 short videos that kind of help shift your brain to work on your mindset to have success. And in one of those videos, I go through the guarantee, like what's expected. It's very simple. There's a little contract. It's not a big deal. There's just a few things you have to do every day for 90 days. And if you do those few things every day, you will lose 20 pounds. And I'm so confident about it. Like I'd be willing to give you your money back. All right. So when you think about this, what happens when you learn the Love Yourself? And it was funny. One of my clients the other day, she goes, well, I gave myself the LYT treatment, the Love Yourself Thin treatment. And I was like, I love it. So you getting dressed in the morning isn't painful. You walk in a room and don't feel judged. You go out for dinner and enjoy yourself. You're not like second guessing yourself of that anymore. You play with your kids and grandkids how you want to. You have energy. You can go on the adventure. You can say, yes, I'll go hiking, or yes, I'll go canoeing, or yes, I'll go whatever it is. You buy a quilt kit and know you will finish it. Or if you don't, you can give it away and not feel guilty. You're not afraid of food anymore. Your grocery shopping is simple. There's no drama. You honor your own word to yourself. You don't feel guilty sewing and taking time for yourself. and you say what you want without feeling guilty. These are just some of the repercussions of what happens when my clients learn the Love Yourself Thin tools. So how you register is you go to darathomason.com and you will see that will say a group program, I'm pretty sure. And so you go on there and I am like so excited. So if you register right now, I will not only send you the 90-day workbook, but I can also send you the 12-step perfection recovery program paper copy. Okay. So go over to my website. How do I don't know how to do that. But you can go there and just darathomason.com. You will see here. Let me see if I can share my screen. Because when people like take action, I reward action takers. Okay, let me just share my screen with you. All right, so we go here. So this is the pop-up. So this is where you would go to get the class. Okay, this is the $19 offer. And if you join right now, I will pay for your and mail it to you. The paper copy of the 12-step perfection recovery program. And then to join Love Yourself Thin, the program. So you just go Love Yourself Thin here. We go here to Love Yourself Thin program and then click on there. And then this is just my sales page. And I have a little video for you. And then you just click on I'm ready. And then you just go to buy now. And that's how you do it. So, all right. Let me get out of that. I can stop sharing my screen. All right. So now I have some time to answer any questions that you have. Okay. What time of day are you doing this? It'll be at 11 a.m. Pacific. So that's noon Mountain, 1 Central, 2 Eastern. Lori said, it's amazing to be able to share in a safe environment where everyone understands. Yes, I love it so much. And I loved the coaching that you got last week. It was amazing. Like I definitely believe it was life-changing for you. And I can't even tell you, ladies, of when I think about my clients, like when I think about the ripple effects of their life, of what happens because they learn these tools. And like, there's some ladies on here that are my existing clients. If you wanted to type some things in, you can like share what's made a difference for you. So I see that there are women on this call that haven't invested in Love Yourself Thin. And this is the perfect time for you to ask me any questions. Can I send the 19 as an e-transfer? No, you've got to, yeah, if you, okay, you can probably just message me afterwards. We can talk about that. If you need a credit card or whatever, we could probably figure that out. It's just the tech for me. Like, I don't know how to register you into the thing, but I could have my tech guy do that. It was life-changing. Oh yeah, I can't thank you enough. See, I knew it. I knew it was life-changing. And so one of the things that food is not my driver anymore. Yeah, that's right. It's not. And it was so funny because food was pretty much everything, and you used it. One of the things that I see a lot that happens with my clients before Love Yourself Thin is that food is kind of an easy way out of making your life more interesting. It's kind of like, I watch my in-laws, and I love my in-laws so much. Like, I love them and they're so awesome. but most of their relationship is based on food. Like their whole conversations, I don't use it. Yeah. It's like all their joy, everything that comes to them is like their food. Like when they were parents to my husband and my brother-in-law, like it was like they were everything to them, and they were so committed to them. They were such good parents. They just loved them so much. And Marlene, okay, I gotta read that in just a minute. And so now it's like their whole, like the way that they have like excitement or whatever that is, it's like pretty much just based on food. And what I'm seeing in my program with my clients is that they are now doing things that make their life so much more exciting. Because I always say, like, make your life interesting and your food not so interesting. So I have clients now that are traveling around the world. I have clients who are becoming pattern designers. I have clients that are going on way more adventures with their grandkids or with their husbands. Like they're doing all these things that they never thought possible because they have so much more mind juice. They have so much more physical energy because they're not weighed down. I love this. So one of my clients, she was in my group and she has lost 60 pounds and like it was 2 years ago. It was actually October of 2020 that she signed up for my group program. And I would love to have you in my lifetime membership. It'd be so fun to keep helping you accomplish just other goals. And if you wanted to lose more than 60, because that's really, really exciting. So what other questions do you have for me? So how about all of you signed up for the procrastination class? And I do really want, so the other thing that I'm totally happy to do, if $2,000 is too much at one time, I do have a $500 payment plan. And so if you want to make 4 equal payments of $500, I'm totally open to that as well. I do ask that you just write me an email and say, hey, I really want in, but I can't pay the 2,000 all at once. Can I do a payment plan? And I will send you that link. I mean, the fact that you came to this call and you're still on this call after an hour tells me that you're ready for this. And I totally get it, especially right before Christmas. That's a big investment. And so $500 a month for the next 4 months is no problem. I'd be happy to help you with that. Because one of the things that I love to think about when I'm selling to like the lifetime membership is I ask the question, what is the cost of the way your health is right now? Like, what is it costing you to not change? What is it costing you to stay the same? What is it costing you, like your mind juice of like all the willpower and feeling frustrated in your body and not being connected? Like, what is the physical, mental, and emotional cost to all of that? And what would it mean for you to not have that anymore? And one of the things that I love about this client of mine that has lost 60 pounds and has kept it off, one thing that I love that's really, really helped her is I made a promise that I would do a free training every month. And that's going to be over because it's going to be over in the end of 2022. But she has taken advantage of that. So she has kept up working on those mind tools. But the more that you can do the mind tools, the more that you can like be interactive on the calls with me and my other coaches, the more that your brain is engaged, the more that people can get more and more results. The weight loss is definitely a big one, but all the other things in life that you want to do. So I just had a live event with some of my clients in the membership. And some of them have lost, they're at 82 pounds, 72 pounds, like some pretty big weight loss. And it was really, really interesting to coach them. There was only 5 of us. And to be able to coach them at that higher level was astounding. And one of them is here on the call. And it was pretty crazy to go like even further, because I'm telling you, weight loss is not about the calories. It's all about what's going on in here. And when we're not afraid to go in our brains, and we're not afraid to like dig deeper and to like solve those real problems, some of those problems we don't even know what they were. There's so many subconscious things that happened that we didn't know how to figure out. Okay. So that is why Love Yourself Thin is basically the answer, because I say basically, it is the answer, because when you learn to be comfortable in your brain, when you learn to be comfortable in like confronting the things that are the hardest, you are no longer needing to numb out, to escape, to avoid, resist, react. You're able to solve the real problems. You're able to really see what's going on. All right. Are there any more questions? I see you, ladies. Now, there are some ladies on here that haven't joined yet, and I would love to ask you why. Why haven't you joined? And I'd also offer, and I actually love this, I have four spots on my calendar a week to talk to women to help them for free. And I share a tool that will help them. And I want you to take advantage of that. So you might be asking yourself, like, I don't want this to be like an uncomfortable sales call. And really, I teach you a tool. I ask you some questions, and then we just look at if it's a good fit to work together, if the lifetime membership is the right fit. So I want to invite you to take advantage of that. All right. No other questions? It has been so much fun to spend this time with you. And again, I want to encourage you to take the time to invest in yourself and to see what's really going on, and to get the tools that you can feel comfortable solving the real problems. All right. Take care, everyone.